The first warning wasn't an alarm, but a shadow. Captain Aiden Rourke stood before the Luna Array's forward viewport as the stars dimmed like dying embers. One by one, points of light vanished behind a vast, metallic curtain unfurling across the void. Ships, thousands of them, slid out of subspace with the cold precision of a guillotine blade. A technician whispered, "God, they brought the whole damn armada." The bridge lights snapped to red. Systems hummed as defensive fields warmed. Aiden forced his breathing steady. The Galactic Council enforcement fleet hadn't deployed at this scale in recorded history. Not for pirates, insurgents, nor rogue planets. Only for extinction-level actions. "Open global channel," Aiden ordered. Every screen across Earth, Luna, and the orbital habitats flickered. Then the Chancellor appeared. High Chancellor Veilthun stood tall and motionless, a tower of cerulean armor and obsidian eyes. His voice rolled through the speakers, smooth, resonant, utterly devoid of doubt. "People of Earth. By decree of the Galactic Council, humanity is hereby ordered to surrender all Omega-class research, facilities, and personnel. Your advancements violate Council law and threaten galactic stability. You have 1 hour to comply." The feed ended. Just that, an ultimatum without negotiation. Aiden's second-in-command, Lieutenant Dara Kesslin, turned to him. "They didn't even pretend it was diplomatic." "They don't need to," Aiden replied. "They planned this long before the transmission." He opened a private channel to Earth Command. The hollow field materialized General Mahira Patel, shoulders tense beneath her uniform. "We expected pressure," she said. "Not a war fleet." "Why now?" Aiden asked. "What triggered this scale of response?" Patel's jaw tightened. "They know we cracked Omega energy protocols." Aiden's stomach sank. Omega energy manipulation had been a theoretical pursuit, until last year's breakthrough beneath Earth's mantle. A project hidden so deeply even he hadn't been briefed until today. "What exactly do they think we built?" he asked. "Something dangerous," she said. And, in fairness, they're not entirely wrong. Before Aiden could reply, a tremor ran through the array, slight, but unmistakable. Panels flickered. Readouts spiked. "What was that?" Dara asked. Patel exhaled slowly. The ether core woke up. Aiden stared. "I thought the activation window was months away." "It was." Patel gave him a grim look. "Something accelerated the process." Aiden lowered his voice. "If ether destabilizes the planet." "We're containing it," Patel cut in. "But the longer the fleet remains, the more likely they'll strike preemptively." Silence held for a breath. Aiden straightened. "Request permission to initiate diplomatic contact with Veilthun. Maybe we can buy time." "Permission granted," Patel said. "But don't expect restraint." The channel closed. Aiden triggered the long-range comm beam toward the nearest battle platform. The Chancellor appeared again, towering, patient, already anticipating the attempt. "Human representative," Veilthun said. "State your intention." Aiden kept his posture firm. "We request a formal dialogue. Humanity has no desire for conflict." Veilthun's expression didn't shift. "Peace is achieved through compliance. Surrender the Omega technology." "Our research is defensive," Aiden countered. "We've attacked no one. The purpose of a weapon does not absolve its threat." Veilthun leaned forward. "We will not risk another progenitor catastrophe." The word struck Aiden like a blow. "Progenitor? You believe our research relates to them?" Veilthun ended the link without another word. Dara muttered, "He didn't even try to pretend that meant nothing." "Because it means everything," Aiden said. A piercing alarm cut through the bridge. "Captain," an operator shouted. "Council weapon platforms charging." Aiden snapped into motion. "Raise defensive curtain. All stations prepare for impact." Outside, brilliant streaks of plasma lanced toward a mining platform orbiting Earth. The explosion lit the void with brutal clarity. Hundreds of workers, civilians, were gone in seconds. The room erupted with curses and disbelief. "That was a compliance strike," Dara said, voice trembling with restrained fury. "It was a warning," Aiden replied, though the words tasted wrong. "They'll hit more targets if we don't respond." Patel pinged in again, her expression carved in stone. "All commands, prepare for coordinated defense. Rourke, return to Earth Command. We're escalating to phase black." Before he could move, power surged through the deck. Lights flickered again, but this time, Aiden felt something deeper. A pressure behind his eyes. A whisper of instinct that wasn't his own. He steadied himself on the console. "Captain?" Dara stepped forward. Aiden blinked hard. "I'm fine. Just felt something strange." Another tremor rippled beneath the array. Earth itself seemed to pulse. "Report." Aiden barked. An engineer spoke up. "Ether's energy signature expanded, sir. Not violently, more like a resonance pulse." "As if it responded to something," Dara added. Aiden exhaled slowly. "We don't have time for unknowns. Prep my shuttle." Minutes later, he strode down the launch corridor. Crew stepped aside, their faces pale. The sight beyond the windows would haunt anyone, Council ships forming a steel noose around Earth. Inside the shuttle, Dara took the co-pilot seat. "What's our angle when we reach command?" "Find a way to de-escalate without exposing ether," Aiden said. "If the Council thinks we're using it as a weapon, they'll vaporize the planet. And if we don't use it?" Aiden didn't answer. He didn't need to. The shuttle launched. Earth grew larger in the viewport, blue and bright and heartbreakingly fragile. Halfway through descent, a violent jolt rocked the cabin. "Status?" Aiden shouted. "We're being scanned by high-frequency psionic waves," Dara said, confused. "But humans don't generate psionic signatures." "Apparently we do now," Aiden muttered. As they broke atmosphere, Aiden felt it again, that pressure behind his eyes. A flicker of awareness, like sensing turbulence before it hit. And then alarms screamed. A Council interceptor dropped from orbit, weapons glowing. But Aiden had felt it coming seconds before instruments registered it. "Hard bank," he ordered. The shuttle veered as a plasma bolt tore past, heat searing the hull. Dara fired countermeasures. "They're targeting us specifically." "Then we evade," Aiden said through clenched teeth. Another bolt sliced the air. Aiden felt a second jolt of instinct, move left. He pulled the throttle. The shuttle dodged with impossible timing. They landed hard on command's platform. Troops rushed out, weapons ready. Patel met them at the airlock. "Report." "They tried to shoot us down," Aiden said. "No warnings." Patel's expression darkened. "Then we're past diplomacy." She motioned him inside. The command center buzzed with frantic strategy, holograms of enemy fleets, red alert markers sweeping across continents. "Aiden," Patel said quietly, "we may need to use ether. It could tear the planet apart. If we do nothing, the Council will. We need options." Before Aiden could respond, the floor rumbled again. All displays flickered white. A wave of energy rolled outward, gentle, but unmistakably alive. Everyone froze. Aiden felt the pulse settle into him like a second heartbeat. Patel turned slowly. "Did you feel that?" Aiden nodded. He didn't just feel it. He understood it. And somehow, in a way he couldn't explain, he knew. This was only the beginning. The aftershock faded, but the silence that followed felt heavier than the tremor itself. Screens flickered back to life inside Earth Command. Officers exchanged uneasy glances, each aware something fundamental had shifted without any clear explanation. General Patel stood rigid before the main display. "That pulse originated inside the crust," she said. "Not from the array, not from orbital infrastructure, from Earth itself." Aiden rested both hands on the console. "Is it ether?" "Most likely," she answered. though what triggered that surge remains unclear. A technician raised a hand. We've detected a secondary anomaly, short-range telepathic activity across several cities. Fragmented impressions, nothing directed. Dara frowned. People are hearing thoughts? Not thoughts, Aiden murmured. More like impressions. I felt something too, twice. Patel shot him a sharp look. Explain. He hesitated before speaking. Both times, I sensed danger before sensors picked up anything. As if my instincts were amplified. Patel's expression hardened. This is escalating faster than projected. We can't let the Council interpret this as proof of weaponization. They already have, Dara said quietly. Before anyone could reply, the tactical board chimed. A red icon flashed across lunar orbit. Transmission intercepted, an operator said. Encrypted Council relay. Minimal defenses. Patel scanned the projection. If we can breach that ship, we may finally learn what Veilthun's hiding. Aiden straightened. I'll take a team. Patel didn't hesitate. Approved. Keep the crew small and silent. The moment they realize you're aboard, they'll scuttle the vessel. Within minutes, Aiden, Dara, and 4 specialists boarded a stealth shuttle. Its hull shimmered with adaptive camouflage that bent light and heat signatures into meaningless noise. As they approached the lone Council scout, its sleek, spear-like silhouette hovered against the starfield. Lines of blue radiance pulsed along its spine, elegant, efficient, deadly. Vector-aligned, Dara whispered. Bringing us in on its blind arc. The shuttle drifted toward the underside maintenance hatch. Magnetic clamps locked onto the alien hull with a muted click. Aiden fitted his helmet. Cut the panel. A thin beam sliced through the hatch. The metal disc fell inward without sound. One by one, the team slipped into the vent corridor. Inside, the air smelled metallic and faintly acidic. Narrow bands of pale light glowed along the walls, casting sharp angles across the smooth passage. Navigation grid maps this class of ship, Dara said. Data core should be 2 decks up. They advanced through the quiet labyrinth, boots whispering against the floor. At each turn, Aiden felt a soft pull in his mind, the same instinctual nudge he'd felt earlier. A suggestion more than a warning. He didn't mention it. The data chamber was unguarded. A crystalline sphere hovered above a pedestal, dozens of holographic strands spiraling from its surface. Aiden gestured. Extract everything. One of the specialists, a compact engineer named Haru, placed a scanner against the sphere. Data streaked across their display pads, Council reports, fleet logs, encrypted memos. But one pattern repeated across multiple files, a single phrase buried in every encrypted segment, protocol oblivion. Dara leaned closer. That's not a defense program. Aiden scrolled further. His pulse quickened. They've classified humanity as an emergent Omega strain, he said. A threat category used only once in recorded history. Haru's brow creased. The progenitors. Aiden paused. You know their mythology. A fragment of it, Haru replied. Legends say a species once manipulated reality on a fundamental level. The Council claims they died out. But if humans share a link to them. A cold realization tightened Aiden's chest. Then Veilthun isn't trying to prevent catastrophe. He's trying to erase the possibility of another dominant species. Dara scrolled through a separate encryption. Her face drained of color. Captain, there's more. She projected a hologram into the air. It displayed a genetic sequence, human DNA. Entire lines were highlighted, annotated with alien commentary. They've been studying us for decades, she whispered. Monitoring variations, tracking unexplained traits, cataloging anomalies we haven't even noticed. Aiden stared at the spiraling code. They believe the progenitors left behind biological echoes, and that humanity is one of them. Alarms blared through the ship. They've detected the breach, Haru shouted. We need to move. they sprinted down the corridor as metallic shutters slammed behind them. A council trooper emerged from a side hall, sleek armor, rifle glowing. Aiden fired first. His shot pierced the trooper's shoulder joint, dropping him before he could react. It wasn't luck. It was instinct, clear, immediate, absolute. "Go," he barked. They reached the hatch. The shuttle detached a split second before the scout ship detonated, scattering shards of molten alloy into the void. Inside the shuttle, the team gasped for breath. Dara secured the data pack. "We got most of it. Enough to confirm the Council's intentions." Aiden nodded. "This ends the illusion of oversight. They're not enforcing law, they're preventing evolution." Back at Earth Command, the room fell silent as Aiden laid out the stolen intelligence. Patel listened without interruption, her face hardening with every revelation. "So the Council knew about our potential long before Ether," she said. "They expected our development," Aiden replied. "They feared it. And now they're using Omega Energy research as an excuse to eliminate a future rival." Patel folded her arms. "Then we have no negotiating position." Dara added, "Whatever we decide, they're committed to annihilation." A comms officer interrupted. "General, Veilthon just broadcast a new order to the fleet." The message appeared on every display, gasps filled the room. Patel's voice dropped to a hush. "They're going to burn the surface." Aiden felt the pressure behind his eyes again. This time, it wasn't a warning. It was a vision, fragments of fire, collapsing structures, oceans boiling, cities swallowed in light. Ether surging out of control, cracking the mantle like glass. He gripped the console until his knuckles whitened. Patel noticed. "What did you see?" "Nothing good," he said quietly. "But we still have time to act." Patel took a steady breath. "Then we prepare Earth's defense grid. Every ship, every orbital battery, every soldier. Humanity holds the line." Dara exhaled slowly. "And Ether?" Patel looked between them. "We keep it contained unless we have no other option." Aiden didn't argue. He simply nodded. Because deep inside, beneath all the fear and uncertainty, he understood one thing clearly. Ether wasn't done awakening. And neither was humanity. Earth Command vibrated with a low, constant rumble, machinery, distant troop movement, and the quiet tremor of fear settling over millions. The Council Armada formed a complete ring around the planet, their weapon signatures gathering strength like a storm preparing to break. General Patel stood at the central holotable, eyes locked on the tactical map. "The bombardment fleet begins alignment in 40 minutes, she said. "They won't bluff." Aiden adjusted the seal on his combat suit. The air felt heavier, charged with an energy that had nothing to do with electronics. The earlier pulses hadn't faded. They'd intensified, moving through him in steady, deliberate waves. "We can't outgun them ship for ship," Aiden said. "So we changed the fight." Patel raised an eyebrow. "Go on." "We use what we've already seen. Humans are reacting to ether, sharper reflexes, heightened spatial awareness, increased processing speed. Small advantages, but multiplied across coordinated teams? That's our edge." Dara nodded. "We can synchronize crews into psionic link units. Not mind reading, more like shared instinct." "Can civilians handle that?" Patel asked. "Not all," Aiden admitted. "But combat personnel already run neural sync drills. This amplifies what they're trained to do." Patel studied him for a long moment. "If we commit to this, there's no reversing course." "The Council made sure of that," Aiden said. Patel exhaled. "Then we prepare for a final stand." The defense grid came alive. Orbital cannon towers unfolded across the exosphere. Fighter wings took position above the continents. Automated platforms ringed the atmosphere with coordinated firing arcs. Cities dimmed their lights to redirect power to shields. In the docking bay, Eidolon Strike Group assembled beside the sleek, dark shape of the Eidolon, a modified atmospheric interceptor fitted with experimental Omega conductive panels. Dara tightened her gloves. If this works, it'll because you figured out how to turn intuition into strategy. Aiden glanced at her. It's not strategy. It's something deeper. Like catching a pattern just beneath awareness. Haru checked the shuttle's diagnostic feed. I'd be more relaxed if that pattern didn't originate in the planet's core. Aiden managed a thin smile. Fair point. He stepped aboard the Eidolon. As the hatch sealed, he felt a faint ripple in his chest, as if something below the crust acknowledged him. Not a voice. Not guidance. Just awareness. Dara settled in beside him. Council ships are shifting, she said. Their heavy cruisers are aligning for a synchronized strike. Then we intercept before they finish. The Eidolon roared from its bay, slicing through cloud cover. Earth spread beneath them, oceans gleaming, cities bracing for impact. Above, the Council fleet glowed with ignition lines preparing to unleash fire. All units, Patel's voice came through the comms, firm and steady, commence Operation Sentinel. Defend every vector. No retreat. Human ships surged upward in coordinated formations, each pilot feeling the subtle resonance pulsing across the world. It didn't grant superpowers, but it sharpened instincts until decisions flowed faster than thought. Aiden felt his awareness stretch across the formation, hundreds of ships moving like parts of one system. Strike team, Aiden said, target the cruiser cluster on orbital plane 7. That's Veilthun's forward command. Dara tracked the formation. They'll have layered shields. Then we break the layers one by one. The Eidolon dove into the swarm. Council interceptors streaked forward, but Aiden shifted before their targeting sensors fully locked. Plasma beams carved empty space where the Eidolon had been a breath earlier. Dara fired a burst that shattered the lead fighter. Their tracking is slower than usual. Not slower, Aiden said. We're faster. Human wings spiraled in a coordinated arc, shredding the first line of Council craft. Explosions bloomed against the darkness, scattering metallic fragments across the void. Aiden opened a tactical channel. Patel, we're breaching their midline. Prepare ground shield reinforcement. Understood, Patel replied. Keep pressure on them. The Council cruisers loomed ahead, colossal vessels lined with rows of weapon pylons glowing in lethal blue. A barrier swelled from their hulls, a shimmering sphere of reinforced particle shields. Here we go, Dara muttered. Aiden targeted the lowest frequency point in the shield. He didn't calculate it. He simply knew. The Eidolon fired a concentrated omega pulse that rippled across the barrier. Human fighters followed with synchronized strikes, gamma torpedoes, rail bursts, electromagnetic disruptors. The shield fractured, then shattered. Punch through. Aiden ordered. They tore into the exposed superstructure, ripping apart turrets and power nodes. The cruiser shuddered under the combined assault. Then a new signal cut through every channel. Veilthun. His voice boomed across the network. Enough. You defy the Council, endanger the galaxy, and invoke forces beyond comprehension. Your extinction preserves order. A massive dreadnought drifted forward, Veilthun's flagship, illuminated by rows of crimson plating. Its ventral bay opened, revealing a massive array of converging energy beams. Dara's eyes widened. Planet cracker lances. Aiden's blood ran cold. He means to fire immediately. The dreadnought locked onto Earth. Energy cascaded through the weapon's coils, gathering strength. Aiden tightened his grip on the controls. We're boarding that ship. Dara stared at him. That thing's the size of a metropolitan district. Then we don't miss. He keyed the fleet channel. All wings, cover our approach. Human fighters swarmed forward, unleashing a storm of fire that forced enemy interceptors to scatter. The Eidolon dove beneath the dreadnought's firing arc and skimmed along its armored hull. A docking scene flashed on Dara's display. There. Aiden aligned the shuttle and fired the magnetic harpoons. The hatch clamped with a metallic thud. Move, he said. They flooded into the corridor, tight metal passages humming with power. Alien soldiers rushed to intercept them, but Aiden's reactions were almost predictive. He fired before the first trooper completed his aim. Dara dispatched another with a clean, precise shot. They pressed forward until the doors parted into the main control chamber. Veilthon stood at the center, imposing as a statue carved from dark ice. His armor thrummed with energy. The planet cracker array gleamed behind him, seconds from activation. He turned toward Aiden. You embrace a power that will consume you. Aiden stepped forward. The only threat here is your fear. Veilthon lunged with surprising speed, striking with an armored gauntlet crackling with energy. Aiden blocked, the impact jarring his arm. A second strike came, and he countered, driving an elbow into the Chancellor's chest plate. The blow forced Veilthon back a step. Surprise flickered across the alien's face. You are already changing, Veilthon growled. Humanity adapts, Aiden replied, that's what terrifies you. He surged forward, using momentum to drive Veilthon against the rail. Dara severed the control conduits, sparks erupting across the chamber. The planet cracker array dimmed, then died. Veilthon roared in fury, swinging again. Aiden ducked and delivered a sharp strike to the alien's throat joint. Veilthon collapsed, armor fracturing along the impact line. The dreadnought shuddered as human ships tore through its structure. Aiden dragged the Chancellor to the deck and activated a restraint clamp. It's over, he said. Veilthon glared at him. You have not won. You have merely delayed what your kind will become. Aiden didn't answer. The weapon array was offline, that was what mattered. Outside the dreadnought, the Council fleet faltered as coordinated human strikes crippled their command network. One by one, ships broke formation and jumped out of the system. Earth held. Hours later, Earth Command erupted in exhausted cheers as the last enemy signatures vanished. Patel approached Aiden as he stepped back onto the platform. You stopped a genocide, she said. The galaxy saw what happened here. Aiden removed his helmet, the air cool against his skin. They'll need answers. They'll get them, Patel said. On our terms. Aiden looked up at the sky. Something deep below the crust pulsed again, steady, calm, waiting. Not a threat. A beginning. He exhaled. Humanity's awake now. Whatever comes next, we're ready for it. Above them, the stars seemed brighter, no longer hidden behind the Council's shadow, but shining over a world that had just rewritten its place in the galaxy. The skies above Earth held the quiet hum of a world recovering from the edge of annihilation. Fires were out, shields cooling, comm towers returning to civilian traffic. Yet beneath the temporary stillness, tension lingered, an awareness that victory had changed more than the battlefield. It had changed humanity itself. Aiden stood on the balcony outside Earth Command's recovery wing. Dawn light washed across the horizon, painting gold over fractured clouds. He watched the slow procession of medical shuttles rising from the plains, each carrying wounded soldiers who had survived an impossible war. Dara joined him. You should be sleeping, she said. And you should be in the med bay, Aiden replied. She shrugged. My ribs are bruised, not broken. Aiden offered a tired smile. Still hurts. It hurts less than watching Veilthon nearly fire that weapon. They stood in silence for a moment, letting the wind fill the gap. Earth smelled of rain and engine exhaust, strangely comforting after the metallic sterility of orbit. Dara leaned forward, elbows on the rail. People on the streets aren't celebrating. Not really. They're waiting for the next move, Aiden said. They're not the only ones. A comm agent rushed onto the balcony. Captain Rourke, General Patel needs you immediately. Priority 1. Aiden exchanged a look with Dara. Here we go. The command center looked different, less frantic, more focused. Screens displayed reconstruction metrics, Council fleet movements in distant sectors, and diplomatic broadcasts from confused alien governments. Patel stood in the center, arms crossed. Thank you both for coming. What's happened? Aiden asked. Patel rotated a hollow display toward them. A star chart lit the air, millions of points of light, most muted, except for a single pulsing mark deep in the Perseus fringe. A single beacon. Not council. Not human. Ancient. This transmission began 60 minutes ago, Patel said. It's directed at Earth. Dara studied the signal. Not language. More like layered harmonic codes. Correct, Patel said. Our linguistics teams couldn't decipher it. But our engineering staff noticed something strange. The transmission resonates with ether. Aiden felt the pulse behind his ribs tighten. It's calling to the core? Calling, Patel repeated, or responding. The hollow shifted, projecting the signal's internal pattern. It appeared simple at first, intermittent pulses, but when zoomed and layered, it formed an intricate matrix of frequencies. Aiden felt the pattern the way he felt ether earlier, instinctively, as if it brushed against something deeper in his mind. Patel saw his expression. What do you sense? He hesitated. Purpose. Not a message. A trigger. Dara straightened. A trigger for what? We don't know, Patel said. But we intercepted another piece. She played a short recording. The sound was faint, almost whispered, a rising chord, then a sharp drop in tone. Something about it made the air feel colder. Aiden rubbed his temples. Where did this originate? The coordinates point to an uncharted cluster, Patel said. Council archives list it as a dead zone. No travel lanes. Convenient, Dara murmured. Aiden leaned closer to the map. Veilthon mentioned a fear of the progenitors. What if this beacon is connected to them? Patel nodded slowly. That's our concern. The room dimmed as auxiliary power rerouted. A technician called from the corner, General, the ether core just emitted another pulse. Low level, controlled. Directional. Directional? Patel asked. Toward the beacon? Yes, ma'am. Aiden felt his heart thump once, heavy. It's answering. Patel turned to Aiden. You felt the earlier pulses more intensely than others. If this is connected to you. I don't want it to be connected to me, Aiden cut in. But ignoring it risks whatever activated out there. Dara tapped the beacon's location. We need reconnaissance. Patel agreed. A stealth cruiser leaves in 3 hours. I want you leading the mission. Aiden blinked. You're sending me off-world now? Earth just survived its worst threat in centuries. Patel's voice softened. And that's exactly why you need to go. The Council isn't regrouping around Earth. They've pulled back entirely. Whatever this beacon represents, it's the next piece. Aiden exhaled slowly. Who else is on the team? Your strike group, Patel said. And a new addition. A side door opened. A young woman stepped inside, carrying a compact case and wearing a uniform marked with research insignia. This is Dr. Lyra Hanish, Patel said. Specialist in psionic anomalies. Lyra extended a hand. Captain. Your recent neural scans were unprecedented. Aiden blinked. You scanned me without asking? Patel cleared her throat. We ran standard post-engagement diagnostics. Nothing invasive. Dara whispered, define standard. Lyra opened the case. Inside lay a slender device with a faint blue glow. This analyzer can read harmonic interference from your neural field. If you're reacting to the beacon, we need a baseline. Aiden eyed the device. Fine. Do it. Lyra placed the scanner near his temple. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a subtle hum filled the air. The device displayed shifting waveforms, irregular, pulsing, and foreign. Lyra frowned. Your neural patterns are synchronizing with ether frequencies. That's impossible, Dara said. Not anymore, Lyra replied. Whatever ether is, it's interacting with human biology. Aiden felt a faint ache behind his eyes, then a flash, a starfield he didn't recognize, a structure of colossal rings suspended in darkness, and a sensation of cold intelligence watching from afar. He staggered. Dara caught his arm. "Aiden." He steadied himself. "I saw something. Not a dream, an image." Patel's expression sharpened. "Describe it." "A megastructure," he said. "Massive rings. Artificial. And something, observing." Lyra exchanged a grim look with Patel. "He's receiving more than resonance. He's receiving memory echoes. The beacon may contain guidance." "Or bait," Dara added. Aiden nodded. "Either way, we can't sit here waiting." Patel gave a firm nod. "Prepare for departure." 3 hours later, Aiden walked across the launch deck toward the stealth cruiser Arclight. Workers loaded equipment, engineers tightened hull plating. The air buzzed with anticipation and unease. Haru approached with datapads tucked under one arm. Supplies set. Shields calibrated for null space travel. Dara checked her weapon seals. Navigation plotted to the fringe cluster. "It's a 7-hour jump." Lyra approached last, carrying her equipment case. "I'll monitor ether resonance from the ship. If the beacon reacts to us, we'll know early." Aiden looked at his team, tired, bruised, but steady. "This time," he said, "we're not fighting a fleet." "And that's what worries me," Dara replied. Aiden boarded the cruiser. As the hatch sealed, he felt a soft vibration ripple through the floor, ether's faint, distant echo. The arc light lifted from the platform, engines thrumming. The sky opened before them, a canvas of stars stretching into the unknown. Aiden took the command seat. "Set course," he said quietly. "Take us to the beacon." The stars shifted as the cruiser entered null space. Lines of light stretched across the viewports. Through the hum of the engines, Aiden felt it again, a whisper at the edge of perception. Neither a warning nor a greeting. Something older. Something waiting. And in the far reaches of the Perseus fringe, the beacon pulsed once, brighter than before, as if acknowledging their approach.